In 47 seconds, Serafina Vale will freeze to death at -18 degrees Fahrenheit. Not from accident, from murder. Her crime being born an Omega without a wolf. But what Alpha Nox Ravencroft doesn't know is this. The girl he's throwing away isn't weak. She's a weapon. And when she wakes up, the entire werewolf world will kneel. This is that story. December 21st, 2024. 5 o'clock in the morning. The Eclipse Hollow Pack House sits deep in the Cascade Mountains of Washington State, 90 miles from Seattle, where civilization ends and the wilderness begins. The mansion is a fortress of stone and timber built to withstand blizzards and battles. Inside, 300 wolves sleep in warm beds. Serafina Vale is not one of them. She wakes on a cot in a converted storage closet under the stairs. No window, no heat, just 4 walls of exposed brick and a single bare bulb that flickers when the wind howls. She's 19 years old. She weighs 98 pounds. Her blonde hair hangs limp and dull unwashed for 3 days because the Omegas only get hot water on Thursdays. Her violet eyes are the only striking thing about her, though most people never look long enough to notice. 5:15, she pulls on her grey cleaning uniform. The fabric is stiff with old detergent and smells faintly of bleach. She laces up canvas shoes with holes in the toes. The pack house is already stirring. She can hear the morning patrol returning, boots stomping snow off on the mat. She can hear the kitchen staff clanging pots. She has 15 minutes to scrub the grand ballroom floor before the breakfast rush. She takes a small white pill from the bottle on her shelf. The label reads Vitamin B12 prescribed by Dr. Yates. Take 1 daily. She swallows it dry. Her throat burns. It always burns after taking the pill, a sensation that fades after an hour. She doesn't know that the pill isn't a vitamin. It's wolfsbane, a poison. She's been taking it every morning since she was 5 years old. 5:30. The ballroom is a cathedral of marble and crystal. Chandeliers hang from a vaulted ceiling 30 feet high. Tonight, this room will host the Winter Solstice Ball, the most important event of the year. 327 guests are expected. Alphas from Oregon, California, Idaho, Montana, even British Columbia. They'll come in silk gowns and tailored suits. They'll drink champagne and dance under the lights. And Alpha Nox Ravencroft, who turns 22 at exactly 8:47 tonight, will announce his chosen Luna. Serafina kneels on the cold floor with a bristled brush and a bucket of soapy water. The brush is old. Half the bristles are gone. She scrubs in small circles, working around the legs of 200 chairs arranged in neat rows. Her knees ache. Her hands are raw and red, the skin cracked around the knuckles. She doesn't complain. Complaining gets you locked in the basement. 6 o'clock. Footsteps echo across the marble. Sharp, deliberate, expensive heels. Well, the runt is awake. Serafina doesn't look up. She knows that voice. Blair Ashmont, 21 years old, daughter of Beta Ashmont. Tall brunette, beautiful in the way that comes from never missing a meal or a night's sleep. Blair wears a silk robe over designer pajamas. Her nails are painted blood red. "Good morning, Blair," Serafina says quietly. She keeps scrubbing. Blair steps closer. Her shadow falls across the wet floor. "That's Beta Blair to you, mongrel." "Beta Blair," Serafina corrects. Her voice is flat, emotionless. She learned years ago not to show fear. Fear makes it worse. Blair crouches down, balancing on her heels. She's close enough that Serafina can smell her perfume. Something floral and expensive. "You missed a spot," Blair says, pointing to a scuff mark near the wall. "I'll get it." "You'll get it now." Serafina reaches for the brush. Blair's hand shoots out and grabs her wrist. The grip is iron. Werewolf strength. Blair twists, forcing Serafina's hand down into the bucket of soapy water. The water is cold. The lye soap burns the cuts on her knuckles. "Scrub," Blair hisses. Serafina scrubs. Blair holds her wrist underwater for 10 seconds. 20. 30. The soap burns deeper. Serafina bites the inside of her cheek to keep from crying out. Finally, Blair releases her. Pathetic, Blair says, standing. She wipes her hand on Serafina's shoulder, leaving a damp smear. You know what tonight is, don't you? The solstice ball. And do you know what Knox is going to announce? Serafina says nothing. Blair smiles. It's a cruel smile. He's going to choose me. Luna Blair Ashmont. Has a nice ring to it, don't you think? She leans in close, her breath hot against the Serafina's ear. And the first thing I'm going to do as Luna is have you removed. Permanently. She walks away. Her heels click against the marble. The sound echoes long after she's gone. Serafina sits back on her heels. She pulls her hand from the bucket. The skin is bright red, blistering in places. She dips a rag in clean water and wraps it around her knuckles. It doesn't help much. She goes back to scrubbing. 7 o'clock. The breakfast bell rings. Serafina hurries to the kitchen. Her job is to serve the high-ranking wolves. She carries trays of eggs, bacon, toast, fresh fruit. The dining hall is loud with conversation and laughter. 60 wolves sit at long tables. They don't look at her. She's part of the furniture, invisible. She places a plate in front of Alpha Knox Ravencroft. He sits at the head of the table. 22 years old in a few hours. Dark hair, storm grey eyes, a jaw that looks carved from granite. He's wearing a black thermal shirt that shows off the muscles in his arms. He's talking to Beta Ashmont Blair's father. They're discussing tonight's ceremony. The council expects you to choose wisely, Beta Ashmont says. He's a broad man with silver in his hair and a scar across his left eye. A strong Luna solidifies your position. Blair is strong, Knox says. He doesn't look up from his plate. She's trained, she's loyal, she understands pack politics. And the Omega situation, Knox's jaw tightens. What Omega situation? The Veil Girl. Beta Ashmont lowers his voice, but Serafina hears every word. Werewolves have excellent hearing. She hears everything they say about her. She's 19 now, still hasn't shifted. Some of the pack members are uncomfortable. They say she's bad luck. She's not bad luck, she's just defective. Knox picks up his fork. After tonight, once Blair is official, we'll handle it quietly. Give her some money, send her to the human world. She can't survive here. Serafina's hand trembles. The coffee pot she's holding tilts. A single drop of coffee falls onto the white tablecloth. It spreads like blood. Knox looks up. His grey eyes meet her violet ones for exactly 2 seconds. Something flickers across his face. Confusion, pain. But it's gone before she can name it. He looks away. Clean that up, he says. Serafina sets down the coffee pot. She grabs a napkin and dabs at the stain. Her heart is pounding so hard she can hear it in her ears. There's a strange sensation in her chest. A tightness. A pull, like a string has been tied around her ribs and someone is tugging on it. She's felt this before every time Knox walks into a room. She doesn't understand it. She prays it doesn't mean what she thinks it means. An Omega cannot be mated to an Alpha. It's not just unlikely. It's impossible. The moon goddess wouldn't be that cruel. Would she? 8 o'clock. Serafina retreats to the kitchen. She washes dishes until her hands are pruned and aching. The kitchen staff ignores her. They're all busy preparing for tonight's feast. Roasted venison, salmon, 3 kinds of potatoes, pies, cakes, chocolate fountains. The scent of cooking meat makes Serafina's stomach cramp. She hasn't eaten since yesterday morning. She takes a bread roll from the counter when no one is looking. It's stale, but she doesn't care. She tears off small pieces and chews slowly, making it last. 9 o'clock. The head housekeeper, Miss Brennan, finds her in the pantry. Miss Brennan is 60 years old, with iron grey hair pulled into a tight bun. She's human, married to a wolf, and she runs the household staff with military precision. She looks at Serafina with something like pity. The silver needs polishing, Mrs. Brennan says. All of it. Flatware, serving trays, candlesticks. It needs to be done before 6 o'clock tonight. Serafina nods. Yes, ma'am. There's polish and rags in the storage closet. Mrs. Brennan hesitates. Then, she pulls a wrapped sandwich from her apron pocket. Ham and cheese. She presses it into Serafina's hand. Eat this. You're too thin. Serafina's throat tightens. Thank you. Mrs. Brennan's expression softens. You're a good girl, Serafina. I'm sorry about. She trails off. She doesn't finish the sentence. She doesn't need to. They both know what she means. I'm sorry about everything. I'm sorry you were born into this. I'm sorry I can't help you. She leaves. Serafina unwraps the sandwich. She eats it in 4 bites. It's the best thing she's tasted in weeks. 10 o'clock. She's in the silver pantry, a narrow room lined with shelves of gleaming metal. 200 pieces, forks, knives, spoons, serving platters as big as shields, candlesticks taller than her arm. She works methodically. Dip the rag in polish, rub in circles, buff until it shines. Dip, rub, buff. Her shoulders burn, her vision blurs. She keeps working. Through the wall, she can hear the pack house coming alive. Guests are arriving, car engines, laughter, suitcases rolling across the floor. The visiting alphas always arrive early to schmooze and network before the ceremony. Eclipse Hollow is powerful. Knox is young, handsome, unmarried. Every unmated female wolf on the west coast wants to be his Luna. Blair has already won, but they don't know that yet. Noon. Serafina finishes the silver. Her reflection stares back at her from a polished platter. She looks like a ghost, pale skin, dark circles under her eyes, hollow cheeks. She looks away. 1 o'clock. She's sent to the guest rooms to deliver fresh towels. The 3rd floor is reserved for visiting alphas. The carpet is thick. The doors are heavy oak. She knocks softly on each door, leaves the towels on a side table, and retreats before anyone can call her inside. At the end of the hall, a door opens. A male alpha steps out. He's from California, judging by the accent she heard at breakfast. He's tall, broad-shouldered, maybe 40 years old. He looks at her the way wolves look at rabbits. You're a pretty little thing, he says. Serafina keeps her eyes on the floor. Thank you, sir. What's your name, Serafina, sir? Serafina. He rolls the name around in his mouth like he's tasting it. You got a wolf? No, sir. His smile widens. Even better. He takes a step toward her. A door at the other end of the hall opens. Knox steps out. His gray eyes lock onto the California Alpha. He doesn't say anything. He doesn't have to. The message is clear. Back off. The California Alpha raises his hands in mock surrender. Just being friendly, Ravencroft. Be friendly somewhere else, Knox says. His voice is cold. The California Alpha laughs and retreats into his room. Knox looks at Serafina. For a moment, neither of them speaks. The strange pulling sensation in her chest intensifies. It's almost painful now. She wants to step closer. She wants to run. She wants to ask him why her heart feels like it's breaking every time he's near. Get back to work, Knox says. She does. 2 o'clock. The pack house is in full chaos. Florists deliver centerpieces. A string quartet sets up in the ballroom. Waiters in black ties practice carrying trays. Blair Ashmont descends the main staircase in a shimmering red gown that looks like it costs more than Serafina's entire life. She looks like a queen already. Confident, radiant, she catches Serafina's eye and smirks. 3 o'clock. Mrs. Brennan finds Serafina again. You can have the rest of the afternoon off, she says. All staff are invited to watch the ceremony from the upper balcony. Be there by 8:30 if you want a spot. Serafina's heart leaps. Really? Really? Mrs. Brennan squeezes her shoulder. Everyone deserves to see a little magic now and then. Serafina retreats to her closet under the stairs. She has 4 hours. She uses the first hour to sleep. She's so exhausted she falls unconscious the moment her head hits the pillow. She dreams of running through snow. Someone is chasing her. She can hear their footsteps. She can hear their breathing. She runs faster, but the snow is deep and her legs are slow. She wakes up gasping. 6 o'clock. She washes her face in the small sink in the corner of her closet. The water is cold. There's no mirror. She doesn't need one. She knows what she looks like. She opens the small trunk at the foot of her cot. Inside is everything she owns. 3 grey uniforms, 2 pairs of underwear, a hairbrush with half the bristles missing, a winter coat that's too big, and at the very bottom, wrapped in tissue paper, a dress. She found it 3 years ago in the donation bin. Someone had thrown it away, probably because it was out of style. It's a simple navy blue slip dress, knee-length with thin straps. It's too big in the bust and too loose around the waist, but it's the only nice thing she owns. She's never worn it. She's been saving it for something special. Tonight feels special. Even if she's just watching from the balcony. Even if Knox will never look at her. Even if Blair becomes Luna. And Serafina is sent away tomorrow. Tonight, just for a few hours, she wants to feel like she belongs. She puts on the dress. She brushes her hair until it's smooth. She doesn't have makeup or jewelry. She doesn't need them. For the first time in years, she looks at her reflection in the small mirror over the sink. The girl looking back at her is still too thin, still too pale. But her eyes are bright, hopeful. 7 o'clock. She climbs the narrow servants' staircase to the 3rd floor, then up another flight to the balcony level. The balcony overlooks the grand ballroom from above, hidden behind an ornate railing. A dozen other staff members are already there. Cooks, housekeepers, groundskeepers, the invisible people who keep Eclipse Hollow running. They nod at Serafina. She nods back. They're not friends exactly, but they share a solidarity. They're all at the bottom of the hierarchy. 8 o'clock. The guests begin to arrive. Serafina watches from above as 327 wolves file into the ballroom. The women wear gowns in every color. Emerald green, sapphire blue, gold. The men wear tuxedos. They're all beautiful. Tall, strong, perfectly groomed. They move with the casual confidence of people who have never been afraid. They laugh. They drink champagne from crystal flutes. They don't look up. They don't see the staff watching from the shadows. 8:30. The string quartet begins to play. A hush falls over the crowd. Knox enters from the side door. He's wearing a black suit with a silver tie. His dark hair is slicked back. He looks like a king. He walks to the center of the room and stands on a raised platform. Beta Ashmont joins him. So does Blair. She's radiant in her red dress. She stands at Knox's side, her hand resting lightly on his arm. 8:45. An elder steps forward. Elder Thaddeus. He's 65 years old, with white hair and a lined face. He's been with Eclipse Hollow for 40 years. He's respected, feared. He raises his hands and the crowd goes silent. Tonight, Elder Thaddeus says, his voice carrying through the hall, we celebrate the winter solstice, the longest night of the year, a time of reflection and renewal. And tonight we celebrate Alpha Knox Ravencroft as he comes of age. The crowd applauds. Knox stands tall, expressionless. At exactly 8:47, Elder Thaddeus continues. Knox will turn 22, and the moon goddess in her wisdom will reveal his fated mate. The crowd murmurs with excitement. Fated mates are rare. Most wolves never find theirs. They choose mates based on compatibility, politics, strength. But when the bond snaps into place, it's undeniable, unbreakable, sacred. Blair smiles. She's certain the bond will snap between her and Knox. Everyone is certain. 8:46. Serafina's chest aches. The pulling sensation is so strong now she can barely breathe. She grips the railing. Her knuckles turn white. 8:47. Knox goes rigid. His head snaps up. His eyes go wide. His hand flies to his chest, clutching at his heart like he's been shot. The crowd gasps. They've seen this before. The bond. It's snapping into place. But Knox isn't looking at Blair. He's looking up. At the balcony. At Serafina. No. Serafina stumbles backward. The pain in her chest explodes. It feels like her ribs are cracking, like something inside her is tearing open. She doubles over, gasping. The other staff members stare at her. Knox's voice cuts through the noise. Find her. His words are barely a whisper, but every wolf in the room hears. Beta Ashmont barks orders. 4 guards sprint toward the balcony staircase. Serafina tries to run, but her legs won't move. The pain is too much. She collapses to her knees. The guards reach her in seconds. They're not gentle. They grab her arms and drag her down the stairs. Her knees bang against the steps. Her dress tears. She can't speak. She can't breathe. The pain is everywhere. They drag her into the ballroom. The crowd parts like water. 327 wolves stare. Some look shocked. Some look disgusted. Some look curious. The guards throw Serafina onto the marble floor in the center of the room. She lands hard. Her palms scrape against the stone. Blood wells up bright red against white marble. She looks up. Knox is standing 10 feet away. His face is pale. His fists are clenched at his sides. He is staring at her like she's a nightmare come to life. "No," he says. His voice is hoarse. "This isn't possible." Elder Thaddeus steps forward. He's frowning. "Alpha Knox, do you feel the bond?" Knox doesn't answer. He's still staring at Serafina. "Do you feel it?" Elder Thaddeus presses. "Yes." The word is barely audible. The crowd erupts, gasps, whispers, laughter. Blair's face twists with rage. She steps forward, her red dress swirling. This is a joke. She's not even a wolf. She's a defect. Serafina forces herself to stand. Her legs shake. Her vision swims. She meets Knox's eyes. For a moment she sees something there. Confusion, pain, maybe even regret. Then it's gone. Knox's expression hardens. He looks at Elder Thaddeus. "This is a mistake. The bond must be flawed." "The moon goddess does not make mistakes," Elder Thaddeus says carefully. "She made one tonight." Knox's voice is ice. He looks at Serafina. Not with love, not with tenderness, with disgust. "Look at her. She has no wolf. She has no strength. She's been scrubbing my floors for 19 years. She's nothing." The word hits like a physical blow. Serafina flinches. Blair steps closer to Knox, emboldened. An alpha needs a Luna who can lead, who can fight, who can bear strong airs, not a broken, wolfless girl who can't even shift. The crowd murmurs agreement. Serafina looks around the room. 327 faces. Not one of them looks at her with kindness. Knox takes a deep breath. His jaw sets. He's made his decision. "I Alpha Knox Ravencroft of Eclipse Hollow Pack," he says, his voice ringing through the silent hall. "Reject you, Serafina Vale, as my fated mate and Luna." The words are a knife. They cut through the bond. Serafina screams. It's not a human sound. It's raw, primal. The bond was barely formed, just minutes old, but severing it feels like her soul is being ripped in half. She falls to her knees. Blood pours from her nose, her mouth. The pain is so intense she can't see, can't hear, can't think. She gasps out the only words that will end the agony. "I accept your rejection." The bond shatters. The pieces fall like glass. The pain doesn't stop. It intensifies. She's drowning in it, suffocating. Knox doesn't look relieved. He looks hollow. But he's not done. He turns to Blair and takes her hand. He raises it high. Guards escort her to the north border. She is banished from Eclipse Hollow, effective immediately. The crowd doesn't cheer. They don't boo. They just watch in silent judgment as two guards grab Serafina's arms and drag her toward the door. "Please," Serafina whispers. Her voice is broken. "It's winter. I'll freeze." Knox doesn't turn around. "You should have thought of that before you tried to trap me." Blair laughs. It's a sharp barking sound. "Take the trash out." The guards drag her through the ballroom, past the silent crowd, out the heavy oak doors, into the freezing night. Snow is falling. The temperature has dropped to -18 degrees Fahrenheit. The guards don't slow down. They drag her down the front steps, across the driveway, into the forest. 18 miles. They drive her in a truck, her wrists zip-tied, her body shaking with sobs and pain. When they reach the north border, they stop. One guard cuts the zip tie. The other opens the door and shoves her out. She lands in 2 feet of snow. It's so cold it burns. She tries to stand. Her legs won't hold her. The guard leans out of the truck. Alpha says you're not Eclipse Hollow property anymore. If we see you again, you're rogue. You know what we do to rogues. They drive away. The taillights disappear into the trees. Serafina is alone. She tries to walk. She can't. The cold is already seeping into her bones. She crawls under a fallen log, trying to find shelter. It doesn't help. The wind cuts through her thin dress like it's not even there. Her teeth chatter so hard she bites her tongue. She tastes blood. She thinks about her parents, the ones who died when she was 5. She doesn't remember them well, but she remembers feeling safe. She wishes she felt safe now. She thinks about Mrs. Brennan's sandwich. She thinks about the dress she was saving. She thinks about the way Knox looked at her. Not with love, with contempt. She stops shivering. That's bad. She read once that when you stop shivering, it means your body is shutting down. Hypothermia. Stage 3. Maybe stage 4. She can't remember. Her vision blurs. She sees shapes moving in the trees. Wolves, people, ghosts. She doesn't know. She doesn't care. She reaches under her dress and pulls out the locket. It's small, silver, tarnished. She's worn it every day of her life. She doesn't know where it came from. Jared and Stella, her guardians, told her it belonged to her mother. She's never opened it. She tries now. Her fingers are numb. She can't grip it. The locket falls into the snow. It starts to glow. Serafina blinks. She thinks she's hallucinating. The locket is glowing silver, bright as a star. It's warm. She can feel the heat through the snow. She reaches for it. The moment her skin touches the metal, fire explodes through her veins. She screams. It's not the cold. It's heat, burning. Her blood feels like lava. The wolf's bane, 19 years of accumulated poison, ignites. It burns out of her system in seconds. Her body convulses. Her back arches. Her fingers claw at the snow. And then the pain changes. Her bones crack, not breaking, reshaping. Her spine elongates with a sickening crunch. Her jaw extends. Her teeth sharpen into fangs. Her skin splits and silver fur erupts through the tears. She's not shifting. She's exploding. She grows. 5 feet 4 inches, then 6 feet, then 7. Her wolf is massive, far larger than any alpha. Her fur isn't gray or brown. It's pure silver, glowing like liquid mercury in the moonlight. Her eyes open. They're not violet anymore. They're gold, molten gold, with ancient runes spinning in the irises. The silver wolf stands. She throws her head back and howls. The sound is not a howl. It's a roar. It shakes the trees. It cracks the ice on a distant lake. It echoes for miles. At Eclipse Hollow, 18 miles away, every wolf in the ballroom suddenly drops to their knees. The compulsion is irresistible. Even the alphas, even Knox, they don't understand why. They just know they must kneel. The silver wolf runs. She doesn't think. She doesn't plan. She just runs. 87 miles per hour through the forest. Trees blur past. Snow explodes under her paws. She covers 18 miles in 12 minutes. She reaches Eclipse Hollow at exactly midnight. The ballroom doors are reinforced oak 6 inches thick, banded with steel. The silver wolf doesn't slow down. She lowers her shoulder and hits the doors at full speed. They explode inward. Splinters fly like shrapnel. The chandeliers shake. The music stops. 327 wolves turn to stare. The silver wolf stands in the ruined doorway. She's 7 feet 2 inches tall at the shoulder. Her fur glows. Her eyes burn gold. Her aura radiates outward like a shockwave. 320 wolves drop to their knees instantly. They don't choose to. Their bodies betray them. The instinct to submit is overwhelming. Only 7 wolves remain standing. The strongest alphas. They're shaking, fighting the urge to kneel, but they stay on their feet. Knox is one of them. He's in the center of the room, one hand gripping a table for support. Blair is on her knees beside him, her face white with terror. The silver wolf's eyes lock onto Knox. She takes one step forward. The marble floor cracks under her paw. Then, a voice cuts through the silence. Finally! A man steps out from the shadows of the upper balcony. He's been there the whole time watching. He is 32 years old, tall, broad-shouldered, with black hair and eyes the color of winter ice. He's wearing a black suit, no tie. The top button of his shirt is undone, revealing a jagged scar across his throat. He walks to the railing and looks down at the silver wolf. He doesn't kneel. He doesn't cower. He smiles. 10 years I've searched, the man says. His voice is deep, calm, commanding. Welcome home, Argentum. The silver wolf sways. The adrenaline is crashing. The rage is fading. She's been awake for 19 hours. She's been poisoned for 19 years. She's been dead for 4 minutes. Her massive legs tremble. The man vaults over the railing. It's a 20-foot drop, but he lands like a cat. He crosses the room in 5 strides. He's not afraid of her. He walks right up to the silver wolf and looks into her burning gold eyes. Let go, he says softly. You're safe now. The silver wolf collapses. Mid-fall, her body shimmers. Bone and muscle reshape. Fur retracts. In 3 seconds, the monster is gone. A girl lies curled on the cold marble floor, naked, shivering. Her skin glows faintly silver like moonlight on water. The man shrugs off his jacket and drapes it over her. He lifts her into his arms. She weighs nothing. He turns to face the crowd. Knox finds his voice. Put her down. She's my mate. The man's eyes go black. The temperature in the room drops 10 degrees. Your mate. His voice is quiet, deadly. I believe Alpha Ravencroft that not 15 minutes ago you rejected her. You called her nothing. You had her thrown into the snow to die. He takes a step toward Knox. You witnessed it. 327 witnesses. She's not your mate. She's not your property. She's mine. Who are you? Knox demands. The man smiles. It's not a kind smile. I am Caspian Wolf, Alpha King of the Western Territories. And this girl in my arms is the last living heir of the Argentum bloodline. She is the silver wolf of prophecy. She is under crown protection. He looks around the room. His gaze settles on Elder Thaddeus, who has gone very, very pale. And anyone who harms her answers to me. He walks toward the shattered doors. 12 figures drop from the rafters. They're dressed in black tactical gear, faces covered by masks. The Onyx Guard, elite warriors who serve only the Alpha King. They form a protective circle around Caspian and the unconscious girl. Caspian pauses at the threshold. He looks back at Knox one last time. You rejected a gift from the moon goddess. You threw away the most powerful wolf born in 3,000 years. I hope she was worth it. He glances at Blair, still on her knees, mascara running down her face. Sleep well, Alpha Ravencroft. You're going to need it. He walks out into the snow. The Onyx Guard follows. The ballroom is silent. Knox stares at the empty doorway, at the splintered wood, at the cracks in the marble floor. His hand is still clutching his chest. The bond is gone, severed, but he can still feel the phantom ache where it used to be. Blair climbs to her feet. She smooths her red dress. She takes Knox's arm. It's over, she says. She's gone. We can move forward. Knox doesn't respond. He's staring at the broken doors, at the snow falling through the opening, at the darkness beyond. He doesn't feel victorious. He feels like he just made the biggest mistake of his life. Outside, Caspian carries Serafina through the forest to a black SUV waiting on the road. He places her gently in the back seat and covers her with a thick blanket. She doesn't wake. He slides into the driver's seat. The Onyx Guard disperses into the trees, heading back to base on foot. Caspian looks at the rearview mirror. The girl is so small, so fragile. But he saw what she became. He felt her power. It took every ounce of his strength not to kneel. She's magnificent, terrifying, everything his mother's prophecy promised. He starts the engine and drives north, toward the mountains, toward Iron Peak Citadel, toward home. In the back seat, Serafina's eyes flicker beneath closed lids. She's dreaming. She sees a woman with silver hair and violet eyes. The woman smiles. "Sleep, little wolf," the woman whispers. "When you wake, the world will be different. You'll be different, and they will all kneel." Serafina sleeps. The first part of her story is over. The second part is about to begin. December 22nd, 5 o'clock in the morning. Serafina wakes to the smell of sandalwood and clean linen. Her eyes open slowly. The ceiling above her is vaulted, made of dark wood beams that crisscross like a cathedral. Soft morning light filters through floor-to-ceiling windows. She can see snow-capped mountains in the distance, peaks so high they disappear into clouds. This is not Eclipse Hollow. She sits up too fast. Pain explodes through every muscle in her body. She gasps and falls back against the pillows. Her bones ache like they've been shattered and reassembled. Her skin feels too tight. Her head throbs with a migraine, so intense she sees spots. "Easy." The voice comes from across the room. Deep, calm, male. Serafina turns her head. A man sits in a leather armchair by the fireplace. He's wearing grey sweatpants and a black thermal shirt. Dark hair, ice blue eyes. The scar across his throat is visible in the firelight. She recognizes him. The man from the ballroom, the one who carried her out. "Where am I?" Her voice is hoarse, raw, like she's been screaming. "Iron Peak Citadel. My home. You're in the North Cascades, about 80 miles from Eclipse Hollow." He stands and walks to the bedside. He moves like a predator, controlled, efficient. "How do you feel?" "Like I got hit by a truck." "You shifted for the first time, but violently. Your body is adjusting." He pours water from a crystal pitcher into a glass and hands it to her. "Drink, slowly." She takes the glass. Her hands shake. She drinks. The water is cold and perfect. It soothes her throat. She drains the entire glass. "More?" he asks. She nods. He refills it. She drinks again, slower this time. Her head clears slightly. She looks down at herself. She's wearing an oversized white t-shirt that smells like him. Clean, masculine, safe. The shirt falls to her knees. Under the covers, she's wearing nothing else. Her face burns. "Did you—" "My housekeeper changed you," he says quickly. "Mrs. Brennan, she stayed with you all night." "Mrs. Brennan is here." Serafina's eyes widen. "Hattas, I hired her 6 months ago. She's been keeping an eye on you for me." He sits on the edge of the bed, keeping a respectful distance. "My name is Caspian Wolf, Alpha King of the Western Territories, and you, Serafina Vale, are the last living heir of the Argentum bloodline." The words don't make sense. She stares at him. "I don't understand. I know. I'm going to explain everything. But first we need to deal with the immediate crisis." He reaches for her wrist. His fingers are gentle but firm. He feels her pulse. "Your heart rate is 140. That's too high. You have a fever. 105.2 degrees. I feel cold." "That's the fever. Your body is fighting 19 years of poison." He stands and walks to the door. Dr. Matthias. A man in his 60s enters. He's wearing scrubs and carrying a medical bag. He has kind eyes behind wire-rimmed glasses. "Miss Vale, I'm Dr. Matthias. I need to examine you. Is that all right?" Serafina nods. The next 2 hours are a blur of tests. Blood draws, urine samples, blood pressure, temperature checks. Dr. Matthias is thorough and gentle. He explains everything he's doing before he does it. Caspian stays in the room the entire time, standing by the window, giving her space but never leaving. Finally, Dr. Matthias closes his medical bag. His expression is grave. "Miss Vale, you've been poisoned. Wolf's bane. Small doses over an extended period. I'd estimate 14 to 19 years based on the toxicity levels in your blood." Serafina's stomach drops. "Poisoned. The vitamin you've been taking. It wasn't a vitamin. Someone has been suppressing your wolf since you were very young." Dr. Matthias looks at Caspian. "The good news is the first shift burned most of it out of her system. The bad news is your organs took significant damage. Your liver is inflamed. Your kidneys are operating at 60% capacity. You're severely malnourished, dehydrated. Anemic. Can you fix it? Caspian asks. His voice is tight. Yes, but it will take time. She needs IV fluids dialysis to flush the remaining toxins and a carefully monitored diet. She'll be in critical condition for at least 48 hours. Dr. Matthias turns to Serafina. You're a fighter, Miss Vale. Most wolves wouldn't have survived what you did, but you need to rest. Let us help you. She nods. She doesn't have the strength to argue. Dr. Matthias sets up an IV line in her left arm. The needle pinches. She watches the clear fluid drip down the tube into her vein. Within minutes, the headache eases slightly. I'll check on you every 4 hours, Dr. Matthias says. If your fever spikes above 106 or if you have seizures, someone will come get me immediately. He leaves. Caspian stays. Serafina looks at him. Really looks at him. He's older than Nox. Early 30s maybe. He has the bearing of someone who's seen war. His eyes are hard but not cruel. He's watching her like she's something precious, something fragile. Why are you helping me? She asks. Because 10 years ago, my mother made me promise I would. He pulls the armchair closer to the bed and sits. Her name was Queen Elara. She was a seer. She could glimpse the future in dreams. Before she died, she told me to watch for a girl with violet eyes and silver fur. She said when I found you, I'd know. You were meant to change everything. I'm not special. I'm just an Omega who couldn't shift. You're not an Omega. Caspian leans forward. His elbows rest on his knees. Serafina, do you know what an Argentum is? She shakes her head. 3,200 years ago, when the moon goddess created werewolves, she blessed 7 bloodlines with her direct power. The Argentums were the first, the strongest. They were her conduits, silver fur, gold eyes. They could channel lightning, heal, the sick command, lesser wolves with a thought. They were living gods. That's a myth. It was real. The Argentum line ruled for 2,000 years. But power breeds fear. About 1,000 years ago, a faction called the Pure Bloods emerged. They believed Argentums were too powerful, that they upset the natural order. They started a campaign of genocide. It took them centuries, but they succeeded. By 2001, only 2 Argentums remained. Your parents, Isolde and Alaric Vale. Serafina's breath catches. My parents were Argentum. Yes, they knew the Pure Bloods were hunting them. They went into hiding, changed their names, lived quietly in Eclipse Hollow. When you were born, they kept you hidden. But someone betrayed them. His jaw tightens. On December 14th, 2006, when you were 14 months old, the Pure Bloods found them. Killed them both. Your guardians, Jared and Stella, got you out. They fled north. But Elder Thaddeus discovered who you were when you were 5. He was terrified. He thought if he suppressed your wolf, the Pure Bloods would never find you. He poisoned me to protect me. He poisoned you to protect himself. If the Pure Bloods came for you, they'd burn Eclipse Hollow to the ground looking. Thaddeus chose the pack over you. Caspian's voice is bitter. And when you turned 19 without shifting, he thought the problem was solved. You'd live as a wolfless Omega. You'd never be a threat. But I did shift. Because the bond with Nox broke the seal. The emotional trauma, the rejection, the pain. It shattered the chains on your wolf. And once she was free, there was no stopping her. Serafina closes her eyes. Tears leak from the corners. Nox rejected me because I wasn't good enough. Nox rejected you because he's a fool. Caspian's voice is hard. He saw only what you appeared to be. He didn't see what you are. What am I? You're the Silver Wolf, the last Argentum, the most powerful werewolf born in 3 millennia. He reaches out and gently wipes a tear from her cheek. His touch is surprisingly soft. And you're under my protection now. No one will hurt you again. She wants to believe him, but trust is hard when everyone she's ever known has hurt her. Why do you care? She whispers. Because my mother told me you were my destiny. And because 23 years ago, the Pure Bloods killed my family, my father, my mother, my 2 younger sisters. They left me alive as a message. I was 22. I became AlphaKing with no preparation, no support, and a scar across my throat that reminds me every day what I lost. His eyes burn with cold fire. I've spent 10 years hunting them, and you, Serafina, are the weapon I need to end them once and for all. The honesty is brutal, but she appreciates it. He's not pretending to be her savior. He's offering her an alliance. What if I don't want to be a weapon? Then I'll give you money and new identity and send you to the human world. You can live a normal life, but the pure bloods will find you eventually. They always do, and without training, without control, your wolf will drive you mad. Argentums who don't learn to harness their power destroy themselves. He stands. Think about it. You have time. Right now, you need to heal. He walks to the door. Caspian. He turns. Thank you for saving me. He nods once. Then he's gone. Serafina lies back against the pillows. The IV drips steadily. Her fever makes the room shimmer. She closes her eyes and falls into a deep, dreamless sleep. She wakes to agony. Convulsions rack her body. Her temperature has spiked to 106.3. Dr. Matthias is there barking orders. Ice packs, cold compresses, medication injected into her IV. Caspian holds her hand. She doesn't remember reaching for him, but his grip is the only thing anchoring her to reality. Stay with me, Caspian says. His voice cuts through the haze. Fight, Serafina. You're stronger than this. She fights. For hours she fights. Her body purges the poison through sweat and vomit and shaking. It's the worst pain she's ever felt. Worse than the rejection. Worse than the shift. This is her body at war with itself. At 2 o'clock in the morning on December 23rd, her fever breaks. She falls into exhausted sleep. When she wakes, sunlight is streaming through the windows. Her body feels lighter. The pain is gone. She can breathe. Caspian is asleep in the armchair, his head tilted back, his arms crossed over his chest. He looks younger when he sleeps, less dangerous, almost peaceful. You stayed, she says softly. His eyes open immediately, alert, focused. How do you feel? Oh, better. He stands and touches her forehead. His hand is cool. Fever's gone. 98.6. Perfect. He smiles. It's the first time she's seen him smile. It transforms his face. You scared me. I scared you. You're the Alpha King. Even kings get scared. He pours her water. She drinks. He pours more. She drinks again. Are you hungry? She realizes she's starving. Yes. Good, I'll cook. You cook. I've lived alone for 10 years. I learned. He walks to the door. Come down when you're ready. There's a bathroom through that door. Clothes in the closet. Take your time. He leaves. Serafina sits up slowly. Her legs are shaky but hold. She walks to the bathroom. It's enormous. Marble floors. A clawfoot tub. A shower with 6 different heads. She strips off the t-shirt and steps under the hot water. She washes 19 years of dirt and shame and pain down the drain. She uses expensive shampoo that smells like lavender. Conditioner that makes her hair feel like silk. She stays under the water until her fingers prune. She wraps herself in a towel and walks to the closet. It's full of women's clothes. All new. All her size. Jeans, sweaters, boots, dresses. How did he know her size? Male Brennan probably. She chooses black leggings and an oversized cream sweater. Wool socks. She towel dries her hair and leaves it loose. It falls in pale blonde waves past her shoulders. She looks in the mirror. The girl looking back is still thin, still pale, but her eyes are brighter, less haunted. She follows the smell of food downstairs. The citadel is massive. Stone walls, vaulted ceilings, tapestries and weapons mounted on the walls. It feels ancient, safe. She finds the kitchen at the end of a long hallway. Caspian is at the stove flipping pancakes. He's wearing jeans and a navy blue Henley. His feet are bare. He looks domestic, normal. It's jarring. Sit, he says, nodding to the table. She sits. The table is oak, worn smooth from years of use. He brings her a plate, pancakes, scrambled eggs, bacon, fresh fruit, orange juice. It's more food than she's seen in a month. I can't eat all this. Eat what you can. You need protein and calories. Your body is rebuilding itself. He sits across from her with his own plate. She takes a bite of pancake. It's perfect, fluffy, sweet. She takes another bite and another. Before she knows it, she's eaten half the plate. Her stomach protests. She sets down her fork. Good, Caspian says. That's more than I expected. You'll build up to full meals over the next week. They eat in comfortable silence. When they're done, he clears the plates. She tries to help, but he waves her off. You're recovering. I've got it. She watches him wash dishes. It's surreal. This powerful man, the Alpha King, doing mundane chores. Why aren't there servants? There are. But they know to give me space in the mornings. I like the quiet. He dries his hands on a towel. Come on. I want to show you something. He leads her through the citadel to a library. It's 2 stories tall, walls lined with books from floor to ceiling. A fire crackles in a massive stone hearth. He walks to a locked cabinet and opens it with a key from around his neck. Inside are ancient texts, scrolls, and a velvet box. He opens the box. Inside is a silver locket, tarnished, old, identical to hers. I found this in the wreckage of your parents' home. It was your mother's. He makes out a scroll, and this was hidden inside. He unrolls it. The paper is yellowed with age. The writing is in a language she doesn't recognize. But at the bottom is a sketch. A woman with silver hair and violet eyes. She looks like Serafina. This is your mother, Isolde. She knew she was going to die. She left this for you. Caspian touches the text. It's written in old tongue. It took me 5 years to find someone who could translate it. It says Serafina Isolde Val, born October 13th, 2005. Blood of the silver moon. Prophecy. When rejected by the unworthy, she rises. The North Star guides her home. She will choose a mate who will either unite the kingdoms or destroy them all. Serafina's hands tremble. My mother wrote this. 3 days before she died. She knew you'd find your way here. He rolls up the scroll carefully. She also left you this. He hands her the locket. She opens it. Inside are 2 tiny portraits. A woman with silver hair and violet eyes. A man with dark hair and gold eyes. Her parents. She can't breathe. Tears stream down her face. She's looked at her locket 1,000 times, but never got it open. And here in one morning, she's learned more about herself than in 19 years. Thank you, she whispers. Caspian's expression softens. You deserve to know where you came from. He closes the cabinet. Now you need to decide where you're going. Will you train with me or will you walk away? She looks at the portraits. Her parents gave their lives to protect her. They died so she could live. She thinks about Elder Thaddeus, who poisoned her. About Knox, who threw her away. About Blair, who laughed while guards dragged her into the snow. Teach me, she says. Teach me how to control this power. And then teach me how to make them pay. Caspian smiles. Good answer. December 25th, Christmas morning. Most of the world is opening presents and drinking hot chocolate. Serafina is learning to shift in a training yard behind the citadel. It's a flat expanse of packed snow surrounded by pine trees. The temperature is 12 degrees, but Serafina doesn't feel cold. Her Argentum blood keeps her warm. Shifting is about control, Caspian explains. He's wearing tactical pants and a black jacket. His breath mists in the air. You need to stop thinking of your wolf as separate. She's not another entity. She's you, the truest version of you. How do I reach her? Close your eyes. Feel your heartbeat. Now imagine a door inside your chest. On the other side is your wolf. All you have to do is open the door. Serafina closes her eyes. She focuses on her heartbeat. Steady, strong. She imagines a door, silver, glowing. She reaches for the handle. Pain, bone-cracking pain. She gasps. Her spine curves. Fur erupts. In 10 seconds, she's the silver wolf, 7 feet tall, glowing, magnificent. But she's lost control. She roars and charges at a training dummy. She rips it apart. Stuffing explodes. She turns to another dummy, destroys it. A third, a fourth, a fifth. Serafina. Caspian's voice cuts through the rage. Stop. She stops. She's panting. Lete. Her claws are buried in the remains of a sixth dummy. She looks at the destruction. Shame floods through her. She shifts back. It's easier this time. Faster. She's naked in the snow, shaking. Caspian walks over and drapes a blanket over her shoulders. It's okay. First shifts are always rough. I destroyed everything. You released 19 years of anger. That's healthy. Tomorrow we'll work on restraint. He helps her stand. You did well, Serafina. Better than I expected. She doesn't feel like she did well, but his approval warms something inside her. Over the next 6 days, they trained relentlessly. Each day, she gets stronger, faster, more controlled. December 26th, she learns to shift without destroying her clothes by visualizing them integrating with her fur. December 27th, she learns to fight in wolf form. Caspian shifts into his own wolf, massive and black as midnight. They spar. He's faster, more experienced. He pins her 5 times. The 6th time she pins him. December 28th, she discovers her lightning. It happens by accident. She's frustrated trying to break through a concrete barrier. She slams her paw down and white lightning arcs from her claws. The barrier explodes. December 29th, endurance training. She runs 50 miles in wolf form without stopping. Her speed is clocked at 87 miles per hour. December 30th, mental fortitude. Caspian shows her live security footage of Eclipse Hollow on a laptop. She watches Knox and Blair walk through the pack house like nothing happened. Blair is wearing a diamond bracelet. Knox is laughing at something she said. They look happy. Rage explodes through Serafina. She shifts involuntarily. Her wolf lunges at the laptop. Caspian catches her mid-leap. He's strong enough to hold her. Control! He growls. You don't get revenge by losing your mind. You get it by being smarter than them. She forces herself to calm, to breathe. She shifts back. Good, Caspian says. Now you understand. Emotion is power, but undisciplined emotion is suicide. December 31st, afternoon. Before the evening's tactical training, a scout arrives breathless. Sir, we intercepted communications from Eclipse Hollow. Alpha Knox has been asking about pure blood movements. He's trying to find out if the Veil girl is a target. Caspian frowns. Why would he care? The scout hesitates. Beta Garrett reports Knox hasn't slept in days. He's been drinking heavily, talking to himself. One guard overheard him say, I threw away a queen to keep a viper. Serafina, overhearing from the doorway, feels nothing. No satisfaction, no pity, just emptiness. If he comes to the battle, do we turn him away? The scout asks. Caspian looks at Serafina. Your call. If he wants to fight zealots, that's his business. But he's not doing it for me. He's doing it for his guilt. She turns away. Let him come. Let him see what he lost. That evening, New Year's Eve, Caspian teaches her tactical thinking. Chess, strategy, how to think 3 moves ahead. She loses the first 5 games. Wins the 6th and 7th. You're a fast learner, he says. I had a good teacher. They spend the evening by the fire. Mrs. Brennan brings them dinner. Roasted chicken, vegetables, fresh bread. They eat and talk. Caspian tells her about his family. His father was stern but fair. His mother was warm and kind. His sisters were 7 and 9 when they died. He still dreams about them. Serafina tells him about her life at Eclipse Hollow. The beatings, the starvation, the constant humiliation. She tells him about Mrs. Brennan's kindness, about the sandwich that saved her life. I'm sorry, Caspian says. No one should endure what you did. It made me strong. It made you a survivor. There's a difference. He leans back in his chair. Survivors react. Warriors choose. Tomorrow, you start becoming a warrior. January 1st, 2025. New Year's Day. The final test. Caspian leads her to a reinforced training arena. 6 of his best guards wait inside. Warriors. Experienced. Deadly. Your test is simple, Caspian says. Fight them. All 6. You can shift or stay human. Your choice. You have 10 minutes. If you pin at least 4, you pass. Serafina looks at the guards. They're twice her size, 3 times her weight. They're grinning. They think this will be easy. Begin, Caspian says. Serafina doesn't shift. She stays human. She's small, fast. She uses her size as a weapon. The first guard lunges. She ducks, sweeps his leg, and drives her elbow into his kidney as he falls. He hits the mat, gasping. The second guard grabs her from behind. She tucks her chain, drops her weight, and flips him over her shoulder. He lands hard. She pins him. The third and fourth guards attack together. She shifts partially. Just her hands. Claws extend. She slashes across their chests. Not deep. Just enough to draw blood. They stumble back. She kicks one in the knee. He drops. She pins him with a foot on his throat. The fifth guard is smart. He keeps his distance. Circles her. She feints left, goes right, and tackles him. They roll. She ends up on top. Pins him. The sixth guard watches his comrades. He knows he's outmatched, but he doesn't give up. He charges. Serafina shifts fully. The silver wolf is faster. She sidesteps, grabs him by the collar, and slams him into the mat. She pins him with one massive paw. 4 guards down in 8 minutes. The guards on the floor start clapping. Then they're cheering. They're not humiliated. They're impressed. Serafina shifts back. She's breathing hard, but not exhausted. She looks at Caspian. He's smiling. You pass. The guards help each other up. They shake her hand, congratulate her. She's earned their respect. That night, Caspian throws a small celebration. 20 of his inner circle, warriors, advisors, staff. They drink wine, eat good food. They toast Serafina. She feels something she's never felt before, belonging. At midnight, Caspian pulls her aside. They stand on a balcony overlooking the mountains. The stars are brilliant. The air is crisp. You've come a long way in 8 days, he says. I had a good teacher, she repeats. He laughs. You've said that before. It's still true. He looks at her, really looks at her. Serafina, I need to tell you something. The pure bloods are coming. My scouts have been tracking increased movement along the southern border. They're mobilizing. Her stomach drops. When? Soon. Days. Maybe a week. He turns to face her fully. I have been hunting them for 10 years. They've been hunting Argentums for 1,000. When they find out you're alive, they'll come with everything they have. 200 soldiers, maybe more. Can we win? I have 160 fighters. We're outnumbered. But we have you. He grips her shoulders. Serafina, you're the most powerful weapon on this continent. But you need to be ready. Are you? She thinks about her parents, about what they sacrificed, about Knox throwing her away, about Elder Thaddeus poisoning her, about Blair laughing. I'm ready, she says. Let them come. Caspian nods. Good, because war is coming, and this time we're going to end it. They stand in silence, looking at the stars. Neither of them knows that in less than 24 hours, everything will change. That the pure bloods are closer than they think. That the battle for Serafina's life is about to begin. But for now, on this cold New Year's night, they allow themselves a moment of peace. A moment to breathe. A moment to prepare. Because tomorrow, the real fight starts. And neither of them is backing down. January 1st, 4:47 in the afternoon. Serafina is in the library reading about Argentum history when the alarm sounds. It's not a bell. It's a deep guttural horn that reverberates through the stone walls of Iron Peak Citadel. 3 long blasts. The signal for invasion. She drops the book and runs. Her boots pound against the stone floors. She reaches the war room in 30 seconds. Caspian is already there, surrounded by his commanders. A massive digital map of the territory glows on the wall. Red dots are moving north. Lots of them. Report. Caspian barks. A scout, young and out of breath, steps forward. Pure bloods. Southern approach. Count is 240 soldiers. They're 30 miles out. Each day 8 hours at current pace. Who's leading them? Lazarus Draven, sir, the exiled elder. Seraphina's blood runs cold. She knows that name. Lazarus was banished from the council 20 years ago for extremist views. He wanted to exterminate all mixed blood wolves. He disappeared into the wilderness. Apparently, he's been building an army. Caspian's jaw tightens. Tactics: ground assault, no vehicles. All on foot, they're traveling in formation. Disciplined, military style. Weapons: silver bullets, blades. And sir, the scout hesitates. Reports say Lazarus has some kind of weapon. Purple crystal emits a high-frequency sound that incapacitates wolves. A sonic weapon. Caspian slams his fist on the table. How the hell did he get that? Unknown, sir. Caspian looks at his beta, a grizzled man named Garrett, with grey in his beard and scars across his knuckles. How many fighters do we have combat ready? 160. Another 20 are injured or sick. So we're outnumbered 240 to 160. Yes, sir. Caspian studies the map. His mind works at lightning speed. Seraphina can almost see the calculations happening behind his eyes. We can't evacuate. They'll hunt us down in the open. We make our stand here. Iron Peak is defensible. 3 choke points. North, south and east gates. We funnel them, force them to fight on our terms. And the girl? Garrett asks, glancing at Seraphina. She fights. Caspian doesn't look at her. She's our ace. Seraphina steps forward. Tell me what you need me to do. Caspian finally looks at her. His expression is unreadable. Can you follow orders even when your instinct is to charge? Yes. Then suit up. We have 8 hours to prepare. The next 8 hours are organized chaos. Warriors arm themselves. Silver reinforced vests, tactical gear, blades, guns. The citadel transforms into a fortress. Heavy furniture is dragged to block windows. Supplies are moved to secure locations. Medical stations are set up in the lower levels. Seraphina is fitted with tactical gear. Black reinforced pants. A vest that allows her to shift without shredding it. Boots with steel toes. No weapons. Her claws and lightning are weapon enough. At 10 o'clock, Caspian gathers all 160 fighters in the main hall. And they're a mix of ages. Some are young, barely 20. Others are veterans with grey hair and hard eyes. They all look at Caspian with absolute loyalty. Tonight we face an enemy that wants to wipe us out, Caspian says. His voice carries through the hall without amplification. The purebloods believe in genetic purity. They believe mixed bloods omegas and humans don't deserve to live. They've committed genocide for 1,000 years and now they're coming for us because we're protecting someone they want dead. Every eye turns to Seraphina. This is Seraphina Vale, the last Argentum. The purebloods killed her parents when she was a baby. They've been hunting her bloodline for centuries. Tonight they think they'll finish the job. Caspian's eyes burn with cold fire. They're wrong. Tonight we show them what happens when you come for our family. Tonight we end them. The hall erupts in a war cry. Fists pound on chests. Weapons clash. The sound is deafening. Caspian assigns positions. 50 fighters to the south gate. 40 to the east. 30 to the north. The rest stay mobile, ready to reinforce wherever the line breaks. Seraphina is assigned to the south gate with Caspian. That's where the main assault will come. At 11:58, the scouts report the purebloods are 5 miles out. Everyone takes their positions. The citadel goes silent. Warriors crouch behind barriers. Archers perch on the walls. Seraphina stands beside Caspian on the south rampart. She can see the forest beyond the walls. The trees are dark. The moon is a thin crescent. Nervous, Caspian asks quietly. Terrified, she admits. Good. Fear keeps you sharp. He checks his weapons. 2 silver blades strapped to his thighs. A gun holstered at his hip. Remember, this isn't training. They will try to kill you. You don't have to kill them all. Just survive. What about you? He looks at her. I'll be right beside you. Midnight. The attack begins with an explosion. The south wall shakes. Dust rains down. Through the smoke, she sees them. Pure blood soldiers in tactical gear. Silver skull masks cover their faces. They pour through the breach like ants. 80 of them, maybe more. Hold the line, Caspian roars. The two forces collide. It's brutal, hand to hand. Claws and fangs. Gunfire. Screams. Serafina shifts into her wolf form. She's bigger than everyone on the battlefield. She charges into the fray. Her claws tear through armor. Her jaws crush bone. She's a silver blur of destruction, but there are so many. For every enemy she takes down, two more appear. A soldier stabs her flank with a silver blade. Pain explodes. She roars and backhands him. He flies 20 feet and doesn't get up. Caspian fights beside her. He's shifted into his black wolf, smaller than her, but faster, more precise. He moves like a dancer. Every strike is lethal, every movement efficient. Together, they're unstoppable. For 10 minutes they hold. Then the sound begins. It starts low, a hum. Then it rises. Higher, higher. It's not loud. It's piercing. It cuts through Serafina's skull like a drill. She howls in pain. Around her, every wolf collapses. They clutch their heads. Some shift back to human form involuntarily. They writhe on the ground. Through blurred vision, Serafina sees him, Lazarus Draven. He's 55 years old, with white hair and a face like weathered stone. He stands on the outer wall holding a staff topped with a glowing purple crystal. The sonic weapon. "Bring me the girl," Lazarus says calmly. His voice carries over the battlefield. Alive. 10 soldiers advance on Serafina. She tries to fight, but the sound, it's unbearable. She can't focus, can't coordinate. A soldier hits her with a tranquilizer dart. Then another. Her vision darkens. She sees Caspian crawling toward her, blood streaming from his ears. She sees Garrett trying to stand and failing. The soldiers grab her. They drag her toward Lazarus. He's smiling. Finally, the last Argentum. "I've waited 23 years for this moment." He raises a silver dagger. The blade is engraved with runes. "Your blood will fuel the ritual. Your power will be mine." And the Argentum line ends tonight. The dagger descends. A howl splits the air. But it's not from Iron Peak wolves. It's coming from the east. Lazarus pauses. He turns. Through the smoke, figures emerge. 35 wolves. They're wearing eclipse hollow colors. Leading them is a massive black wolf with grey eyes. Nox. Serafina can't believe it. Nox shifts to human form. He's wearing tactical gear. His face is bruised. His knuckles are bloody. He looks at Lazarus with pure hatred. "You want to kill wolves for being impure?" Nox shouts. "Then you'll have to go through me first." Blair is beside him. She's in wolf form, smaller, brown with white patches. She snarls at the purebloods. Lazarus laughs. The boy who rejected her now plays hero. How touching. "I made a mistake," Nox says. His voice cracks. "I'm here to fix it." The Eclipse Hollow wolves charge. It's suicide. 35 against 200. But they don't care. They crash into the pure bloodlines with reckless fury. The distraction is enough. The soldiers holding Serafina loosen their grip. She rips free. She's bleeding, drugged, disoriented, but she's not done. She shifts fully. The silver wolf rises. And this time she doesn't hold back. She stops fighting the pain, stops fighting the rage, stops fighting the power surging through her veins. She accepts it all. The rejection, the abuse, the poison, the fear. She takes every ounce of suffering and channels it into pure energy. Her skin begins to glow, not just silver, blinding white. Her eyes turn pure gold. No pupils, just light. Her voice when she speaks echoes with multiple tones. Ancient, divine, terrifying. Enough. The word is not shouted. It's willed. A shockwave of silver energy explodes from her body. It ripples outward like a nuclear blast. The sonic weapon shatters. Lazarus is thrown backward. Every pure-blood soldier within 100 feet is knocked unconscious. The battlefield goes silent. Serafina stands in the center of the carnage. She's no longer just a wolf. She's transcended. She's become something else, something more. The true Argentum, a conduit of the moon goddess herself. She shifts to a new form. Not fully wolf, not fully human, humanoid, 8 feet tall, silver fur covers her arms and legs. Her face is human, but her eyes glow gold. She has claws and opposable thumbs. She can speak. Oh, Lazarus struggles to his feet. His face is pale. Impossible. You're just a girl. I was a girl, Serafina says. Her voice resonates with power. You made me a weapon. Now face what you created. She raises her hand. Lazarus lifts off the ground. He floats in the air, suspended by her will. He chokes, claws at his throat. There's nothing there, just invisible pressure. You killed my parents, Serafina says. You poisoned me. You hunted my kind for 1,000 years. I could kill you. It would be easy. It would be just. Lazarus gasps for air. His face turns purple. But I'm not you. Serafina clenches her fist. Lazarus screams. It's not a scream of pain. It's a scream of loss. His wolf is being ripped from his soul. I strip your wolf. You wanted to make wolves pure. Now you're human, powerless. Live with what you despise most. She releases him. He falls to the ground gasping. He looks at his hands. They're just hands. No claws. No strength. He's human. For a werewolf, it's worse than death. No, he whispers. No, please. You showed my parents no mercy. Serafina says coldly. Be grateful. I'm showing you any. A voice cuts through the moment. Father, no! A young man is sprinting across the battlefield. He's 28, tall, muscular. He has Lazarus's eyes. This must be Silas Lazarus's son, and behind him are 180 more soldiers. Caspian, recovered from the sonic attack, appears at Serafina's side. His wolf form is battered but standing. Serafina, we can't fight that many. We need to retreat. No, Serafina's voice is steel. I'm ending this. Tonight. Silas reaches his father. He looks at Lazarus, now fully human and broken. Then he looks at Serafina. His expression hardens. You did this. He earned it. You'll pay. Silas pulls a device from his belt. It looks like a gauntlet. He straps it to his arm. The metal glows with purple light. This is Exosuit Mark II, powered by dark magic. It makes me 10 times stronger, fast enough to match you. He charges. He's fast, terrifyingly fast. He reaches Serafina in 2 seconds and punches her in the chest. The impact sends her flying. She crashes through a wall. Stone explodes. She gets up. Blood drips from her mouth. You'll have to do better than that. The battle resumes. It's not 240 versus 160 anymore. It's chaos. Eclipse Hollow wolves fight alongside Iron Peak. Nox takes down 3 pure bloods. Blair tackles a soldier aiming at Serafina. The battlefield is carnage, but the real fight is between Serafina and Silas. They're matched. He has technology. She has raw power. They collide again and again. The ground cracks under their blows. Trees splinter. The air smells like ozone and blood. Silas grabs Caspian. He holds a blade to Caspian's throat. Submit or he dies. Caspian's eyes meet Serafina's. Don't you dare. Serafina's heart pounds. She could save him, but if she submits, everyone dies. Caspian knows it. He's willing to die, but she's not willing to let him. I won't submit, Serafina says slowly, but I won't fight alone either. She closes her eyes. She reaches for the bond, not the mate bond. That was severed with Nox, but the bond of trust, of respect, of something deeper. She reaches for Caspian's soul, and he reaches back. Power flows between them, not physical, emotional, psychic. Serafina shares her Argentum energy with him. His black wolf begins to glow. Blue lightning courses through his fur. His size increases. He is no longer just an alpha. He is an obsidian wolf. Enhanced, upgraded, equal. Caspian breaks free of Silas's grip. He shifts fully. The obsidian wolf is magnificent. He is 6 feet 8 inches at the shoulder. Black fur, blue lightning, gold eyes. Serafina and Caspian move as one. She distracts Silas from the front. Caspian strikes from behind. Silas's exosuit cracks. He tries to fight both of them. He can't. They're synchronized, perfectly coordinated. Serafina grabs Silas's arm. Caspian bites his hamstring. Silas falls to one knee. The exosuit sparks and fails. He's vulnerable. They strike together. Serafina's claws, Caspian's fangs. Both sink into Silas's throat simultaneously. He gasps. Blood pours. He falls. The purebloods see their leader die. They hesitate. 40 surrender immediately. The rest try to flee. But they're surrounded. Caspian's wolves, Nox's wolves. They're captured within minutes. The battle is over. Serafina shifts back to human form. She's exhausted, covered in blood. Some hers, most not. She looks at the battlefield. Bodies everywhere. Her warriors, pure bloods. The cost was high, but they won. Caspian shifts back. He's bleeding from a dozen wounds, but he's smiling. We did it. We did, she agrees. Nox approaches. He's limping. His left arm hangs useless. He stops 10 feet away. Serafina, she looks at him. The bond is gone. She feels nothing. No pull, no pain, just emptiness. Why did you come? She asks. Because it was the right thing to do. His voice is hoarse. I was wrong about everything. You're not weak. You're the strongest person I've ever met. I'm sorry for all of it. I don't forgive you. I don't expect you to. He bows his head. But I'm glad you're alive. You deserve better than what I gave you. He turns and walks away. Blair follows. She glances back at Serafina once. There's something in her expression, not quite remorse, but acknowledgement. She nods. Serafina nods back. The Eclipse Hollow wolves leave. They came. They fought. They go. No reconciliation. Just closure. January 2nd, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. The Grand Hall of Iron Peak Citadel is packed. 18 alphas from across the Western Territories have arrived. California, Oregon, Idaho, Montana, Nevada, British Columbia, Alaska. 400 witnesses crowd the balconies. At the center on trial are the surviving purebloods, 40 soldiers, and in chains Lazarus Draven, human now, powerless, pathetic. Elder Mordecai presides. He is 70 years old, wise, fair. He replaced Elder Thaddeus on the council. Thaddeus died in the battle, killed by a sniper when his treason was discovered. We are here to render justice, Elder Mordecai says. His voice is grave. Charges are as follows. Against the purebloods, genocide, conspiracy, terrorism, murder of the Argentum line. Against Lazarus Draven, all of the above plus high treason. Evidence is presented. DNA from crime scenes, testimonies from survivors, recordings of Lazarus ordering attacks. It takes 3 hours. By the end, even the pure blood soldiers look sick. Then it's Serafina's turn to speak. She stands. She's wearing simple clothes, jeans, a white shirt, no armor, no weapons. She doesn't need them. My name is Serafina Vale, she says. Her voice carries. I'm 19 years old. I'm the last Argentum. My parents were murdered when I was 14 months old. I was raised as an Omega, poisoned, beaten, starved, rejected by my fated mate, thrown into the snow to die. All because people like Lazarus decided my bloodline was too dangerous to exist. She walks to Lazarus. He won't look at her. You took everything from me, she says quietly. But you couldn't take my will to survive. You couldn't take my humanity. I could have killed you. I chose mercy. I stripped your wolf because death would have been too kind. She turns to the crowd. This ends today. No more genocide. No more purity crusades. We're all wolves. We all bleed. We all deserve to live. The crowd erupts in applause. It's deafening. Elder Mordecai calls for silence. Sentencing. Lazarus Draven, you are guilty of crimes against wolfkind. You are hereby banished to the human world. You will live and die as the thing you despise most. May the moon goddess have mercy on your soul. Lazarus is dragged away. He's screaming, begging. No one listens. The pure-blood soldiers. Elder Mordecai continues. Those who surrendered will face life imprisonment. Those who fought to the death have already received their judgment. The soldiers are led away. And now, Elder Mordecai says we address the matter of Eclipse Hollow. Knox is brought forward. He is not in chains, but he stands like a man facing execution. Alpha Knox Ravencroft. Elder Mordecai says, you are charged with unlawful rejection of a fated mate, banishment without trial, attempted murder through exposure. How do you plead? Guilty, Knox says. To all of it. The crowd murmurs. Guilty pleas are rare. Seraphina Vale. Elder Mordecai says, as the injured party, you have the right to name the sentence. What say you? All eyes turn to Seraphina. This is her moment. She could destroy Knox, strip his title, banish him, execute him. She has the power, the right, the justification. She looks at Knox. He meets her eyes. He's not pleading. He's accepting. He knows he deserves whatever comes. Knox Ravencroft made terrible choices. Seraphina says slowly. He let vanity and pride blind him. He hurt me, nearly killed me, but tonight he came back. He fought for me when he didn't have to. He risked his life. That doesn't erase what he did, but it matters. She takes a breath. I asked for the following sentence. Knox Ravencroft is stripped of his Alpha title. Eclipse Hollow Pack is dissolved. The territory becomes Crown Land, renamed Seraphina's Haven. It will be a sanctuary for abused Omegas. Knox Ravencroft is banished to Alaska. He will live as a rogue, alone, for the rest of his life. This is mercy, not forgiveness, mercy. Elder Mordecai nods. So shall it be. Knox bows to Seraphina. Thank you. She doesn't respond. He's led away. Blair Ashmont, Elder Mordecai calls. Blair steps forward. She looks terrified. You are charged with assault, conspiracy, attempted murder. How do you plead guilty? Blair's voice shakes. I'm so sorry. I was cruel. I was wrong. I'll do whatever it takes to make amends. Seraphina considers. Blair was a monster, but she also fought tonight, saved Seraphina's life. People can change, maybe. 8 years community service, Seraphina says, teaching self-defense to Omegas. You'll spend the next 8 years helping those you hurt. If you complete it, your record is expunged. This is your one chance. Don't waste it. Blair's eyes fill with tears. I won't. I swear. She's led away. The trial ends. Justice has been served. The crowd disperses. Seraphina stands alone in the empty hall. She's exhausted, emotionally drained, but lighter, like a weight has been lifted. Caspian finds her. You did well. I don't feel victorious. Justice rarely feels that way. He offers his hand. Come on, there's one more thing. He leads her outside. The sun is setting. The sky is pink and gold. January 10th. 1 week has passed. Eclipse Hollow territory, now renamed Seraphina's Haven, is transforming. 47 former Omegas have been given cottages, job training, education funds. Blair, in an orange vest, teaches self-defense to 12 young Omegas. She's genuine in her remorse. Knox is gone to Alaska. Scouts report he's alone in a cabin watching snowfall. No redemption, just regret. July 4th, 6 months later, Independence Day. Seraphina stands in her room at Iron Peak Citadel. She's wearing a white gown, simple, elegant. A crown of moonstone and silver sits on her dressing table. Today is her coronation. There's a knock. Caspian enters. He is wearing black formal regalia, a crown of obsidian. He looks like a king. Ready. No, she admits. Too bad. 12,000 wolves are waiting. They walk to the courtyard together. It's been transformed. 12,000 wolves from every territory in the west. Banners fly. Music plays. In the center is a raised platform. On it sits a throne, obsidian, ancient, beautiful. Elder Mordecai stands beside it. Seraphina Vale, do you accept the responsibility of leadership to protect the weak, to serve justice, to rule with wisdom? Seraphina looks at the crowd, 12,000 faces. They're looking at her with hope, with trust. She thinks about the girl she was, scrubbing floors, eating scraps, invisible. She thinks about the woman she's become, strong, fierce, unbreakable. I accept, she says. The crown is placed on her head. The crowd roars. The sound is like thunder. Caspian steps forward. He kneels. My queen. One by one the alphas kneel. Then their packs. 12,000 wolves kneel in unison. It's the most beautiful thing Seraphina has ever seen. She stands. She raises her hand. Silver light emanates from her palm. It spreads across the crowd. Flowers bloom instantly. Sick wolves are healed. The land itself seems to sigh with relief. This is her power. Not destruction. Protection. Healing. Life. Caspian stands. He takes her hand, ready for what comes next. Always, she says. They kiss. It's not desperate or hungry. It's tender, sure, right. The crowd cheers louder. Seraphina looks out at her people, her kingdom, her future. She thinks about Knox alone in Alaska, watching northern lights. She thinks about Blair teaching young Omegas to defend themselves. She thinks about Elder Thaddeus, dead and forgotten. She thinks about her parents, their sacrifice. And she thinks about the girl who scrubbed floors. That girl is gone. She died in the snow. She was reborn in silver fire. Far away in a wilderness cabin, Knox watches the coronation on an old radio. He hears the cheers. He sees the light. A single tear rolls down his cheek. He bows his head alone. In a community center, Blair watches 12 Omegas practicing defensive moves. One asks, "Did you really hurt Queen Seraphina?" Blair says, "Yes, and I'll spend my life making sure no one else does what I did." In the Citadel library, Seraphina finds an envelope, golden lion seal. Inside, "Congratulations, Silver Sister. The East has been watching. When you're ready, we should meet. A. Another bloodline. Another survivor. The game has changed, but tonight is hers. Tonight is victory." 6 months later, Seraphina stands on the Iron Peak balcony. Caspian beside her. 12,000 wolves below. The narrator's voice echoes. Seraphina's story teaches us that cruelty reveals the cruel, not the victim. Knox lost his kingdom because he valued appearance over character. He lives now in exile, regretting every choice. Blair found redemption through action, spending years helping those she hurt. Elder Thaddeus died a coward, his name forgotten. The pure bloods are broken, their ideology dead. But Seraphina's legacy grows. By 2030, Seraphina's haven houses 2,000 rescued Omegas. The Omega Protection Act becomes law. Abuse of the powerless is now capital. Knox watches from Alaska for 40 more years, alone, regretting. That is his punishment. The runt became the queen. The Omega became the legend. The girl they threw away became the woman who saved them all. Your circumstances don't define you. Your choices do. Choose wisely. Choose kindly. Choose strength. If this story moved you, leave a like. Subscribe for more tales of justice. Share this with someone who needs to remember they're stronger than they think. Thank you for listening. Remember, even the smallest wolf can change the world. But somewhere in the east, golden eyes are watching. The real story is just beginning. The end.